These are some good looking e-bikes. I like the paint job. Oh. Are you all right?
Taller than I expected.
Did you pull yourself something?
No, I hit
Oh, you
nuts.
hit your nuts?
Easy peasy.
Welcome to the Freshly Charged YouTube channel, and in today's video, we've got two new e-bikes from a company called Velotric. We have the Discover one, we have the step-through frame and the standard frame, cyan and mango. The step-through and the standard frame are pretty much identical, just a few little differences to them. They're 500 watt motors with 900 watts of peak power, 65 Newton meters of torque. The step over is 65 pounds, where the step through is 63.5 pounds. I was able to ride these with my wife, and they are a lot of fun. My wife especially loved the step through version, which was a lot easier for her to get on.
That helmet looks way too big for you.
The helmet does?
Yeah.
Well,
it's like you're a character out of Spaceballs.
So the unboxing process was a little bit more tedious than some of the other bikes that we've unboxed. So there's a little bit more assembly on these bikes than some of the other bikes we've ridden in the past. You gotta put the kickstand on. We have to change the stem. To spin this stem around, it's really simple. You just loosen the bottom bolt, then twist this, and line this up with the frame and the front tire. I'm just installing the kickstand, 2 bolts, really simple. A little bit more work than some bikes, but they pass those savings to you. Let's do a walkthrough from top to bottom. On the step through, the one difference that you see with this is our swooped handlebars, where the step over has kind of your standard handlebars. On the right side, you have these cushy grips. They're a nice soft polymer. They're not the stiff ones that we see on a lot of these budget e-bikes. A throttle on the right side doesn't go if you're in pedal assist 0. You have to put it in pedal assist 1, and then it will go. One neat thing about these bikes that I didn't love about the first time I tried them out, but now after speaking with Jimmy's wife, she loves that the pedal assist level dictates how much throttle you get. I'm full throttle right now, but at pedal assist 1, and so it's maxing out at 8 miles an hour. This way, I don't have to worry about trying to modulate the throttle to try to get that perfect slow speed. I can just set it and forget it. So as you saw in pedal assist 1, caps out at 8 miles per hour. We moved this to pedal assist 3. Let's just go up to 3. It goes a little bit faster. Only caps out at 13.5 miles per hour, 14 miles per hour. But to achieve the 20 mile per hour max, we have to be in pedal assist 5. At first, I didn't think I'd like it, but now I do kind of like it, because when I'm just cruising around going at a leisurely slow pace, I can just full throttle it and be cruising around at 8 miles an hour or 13 miles an hour and not have to worry about trying to get that thumb throttle at the exact right modulation. We've got a 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter. Really easy and convenient. On the left side, you have the module to control the pedal assist levels. Hold the plus sign to turn on the front light. And then to activate the walk mode, you're gonna press on the negative sign. And that's a pretty decent walk mode. If you're trying to get them up a hill and you, for whatever reason, you can't ride the bike up that hill, just set it in walk mode and it helps you walk assist up that hill. In the center, you have this display. It's kind of it's a grayscale display. Turning on the front headlight will dim the screen. Which makes sense though. I mean, if you're riding at night, you're gonna want your headlight on and you're going to want your display not super bright. And right below the display, they have the stem. This is one of the coolest stems I've ever seen. It has a little crosshair so you can match up the handlebars. So you can line it up perfectly. A lot of times you just have to kind of guess what looks good and what's centered. I love that I can make it exactly centered based off of these crosshair design. We have 80mm hydraulic suspension that works. I've seen on a lot of these budget e-bikes, the front suspension is just awful. It's easy to bottom out. This is soft and plush. You can't lock it out, but you can adjust the preload. You have a quick release for the front tire, so you can easily get the tire off if you're gonna throw this in the back of a car. The tire is a 26-inch by 2.5-inch tire, which has this nice brown wall design on it. And then 180mm brake disc with 2-piston hydraulic disc brakes. We have a plastic fender with a nice light on here. This is CNC metal light, so it's not your plastic casing, and it has a pretty decent throw on there. Moving down the frame, we have a 14.4 amp hour battery, which is 48 volts. It's got Samsung or LG cells in there, and it's UL certified, so it should help out to prevent any type of lithium fires. And to pop off the battery, it's really simple. You put in the key, give it a nice twist, and it pops right out. I do love that this battery matches the whole bike, even the bottom of the casing. Right below the battery, you have the controller housed right where the crankset is at. You have a 42 teeth chain ring, and then in the rear we have another plastic fender. This light integrated into the fender. It acts as a brake light as well. So this light is always on, whether you have the headlight on or not. And when you go to brake, it gets brighter. Another 26 by 2.5 inch tire with this nice brown wall on here. A 500 watt motor with a peak output of 900 watts and 65 Newton meters of torque. And a Shimano tourney derailleur.
We're gonna get our safety gear on so we can take these guys for a spin, and while we ride, tell you what we love about these bikes, what we hate about them, and who we think should get these bikes. All right, we're climbing a little bit of a hill. How's it doing on this hill, Andrew?
It's actually a pretty decent sized hill. If this was a regular bike, I hate this hill. But with this bike, we're cruising along. It was at 14.5 miles per hour at the bottom of the hill. It's starting to slow down at 12.6 miles per hour, but pretty good for a budget e-bike.
Any e-bike going up a hill is better than a regular bike going up a hill.
Yeah, but a lot of the e-bikes that we ride up this hill max out at about 8 miles per hour. So I was very impressed that we were maintaining between 12 to 14 miles per hour up that big hill.
And then just a word with the pedal assist. I feel like the motor, the cadence sensor on this, it's actually pretty good. It's above average.
Yeah, I'd say the front end is better, but there is still a little bit of runoffs. When you see me, I go to pedal, then it kicks in, and then it goes. So there's definitely a little bit of a delay, but not as bad as some of the e-bikes we've ridden in the past.
So that delay that we're talking about, you see it on all cadence sensored e-bikes. This one isn't as bad as some of the others.
So the suspension is really good for a budget e-bike. There's not really a loud clinking noise when I drop curbs, but there's a little bit of slack in the chain. So just keep that in mind, as you're gonna get a little bit of noise.
So we've been spending some time with the Discover 1. Let's talk about the things that we love about this bike.
This paint job is rocking. It's just so bright. It's awesome. Display works good in direct sunlight. Brakes work really well. They come with 180mm brake disc and hydraulic disc brakes.
I really like the fit and finish on this bike. I like the higher quality cable wrap that they've used. I like the crosshairs that they have set up here so that it made putting this together a lot easier. And I really do like the light.
Seat's really plush.
Brake light, a tail light on the fender. I think that's a nice touch that we don't see in this class.
The motor, for being 500 watts, is very powerful. I was very surprised with how much get up this bike has, and not really much effort going up that hill.
It's a pretty darn good price point for all the little features that we've talked about that you don't usually see in this budget class. The price is always changing though. They're always having some great sales. So check down below in the links for coupons and for up-to-date pricing. Those are the things that we like about this e-bike. We're gonna keep riding though, and at our next stop, we're gonna talk about the things that we don't like about this bike. We are having fun out here. What's going on?
It just looks unique.
What
It does not look like a duck. It's like it is a duck, but like look at the feathers. I think it's a duck mixed with something else.
All right, so Andrew is totally getting distracted here. He thinks that thing is a cross between a goose and a duck. I think it's a goose. Andrew thinks it's a goose, duck, chicken, turkey. What do you call those? Like a turducken goose?
Turducken?
Thanksgiving is right around the corner. While we're here, let's talk about the things that we don't like.
We see this derailleur on all the budget e-bikes, so I would have liked it to be like the Shimano Altis on the Nomad 1. However, I understand it's a budget e-bike.
And if you're an experienced e-bike rider, you may not like the fact that you always have to be in pedal assist 5 in order to get the highest speed on that throttle. And then the other thing that I don't really like about this bike, and it's just gonna depend on the person, I don't like having to put together a bike with a lot of different parts. This one, not as bad as some e-bikes that we've had to put together in the past, but there was quite a bit of assembly involved.
This is one of the best budget e-bikes I've ridden, but in order for that price point, you have to do a little bit of elbow grease into it.
We're gonna keep riding, and while we ride, we're gonna talk about who should consider getting this bike. Well, all good things have to come to an end, and our ride is going to be coming to an end here pretty soon before the snowstorm hits. Before we end, let's talk about who this bike should be for.
This is a great beginner bike. If you've been looking at the Aventon Pace, but it's a little bit too expensive, this is a great option because it's very similar.
This is great for someone looking for a good bike on a budget. Check out our full written review on ebikepedia.com. Thanks for watching, and when you guys ride, wear your safety gear.